GameTime Gazette, your favorite sports podcast on the internet right now. I am your host, Isaiah Aneni. It is Friday. Everybody thank God. How does the song go? Thank God it's Friday. I don't know. But yeah, thank God it's Friday. I know a lot of you probably winding down on your weeks. Probably been a long week. Been a fun week of sports though. I mean, we've been covering every single step of March Madness, and it has been a wild ride. I've enjoyed it. We will be talking basketball on the pod today, so stick around if you do want to talk some basketball. In a little bit, I did want to get to some racing talks before we started off on any March Madness news, information, anything like that. That's the first thing we're gonna check out and do. Hold on, I don't wanna ruin the angle because I already had the angle set. Yeah, I'm just not gonna. But yeah, okay, we're all ready to go. All right, let's start with F1. So the drivers, the whole pit, the pit crews, the padlock, the whole teams, they're all in Australia today, and they were just. I believe free practice 2 finished a few hours ago. Obviously, Australia time zone different than they're on the other side of the world. So they are literally a half a day ahead, or we're a half a day ahead, whatever it is. Different time zones. So they've already gone through FP1, FP2, and FP1. The biggest story of the F1 Australia Grand Prix has come out, and it is Alexander Albon, racer for Williams Racing, and crashed in FP1. Let's just watch the crash before we get to any discussions of anything else. All right, so he's getting through the first turn here. Looks like he just got through his done warming up his tires and getting on that first lap. Probably he's on soft, so it looks like maybe this is a quali try here. Getting a little deep into the corner there. I want to see where he kind of loses control of the car. Alexander Albon, one of the best drivers in F1 currently. Just a little heavy on that turn into that corner there. Carrying a lot of speed in that corner right there. Still carrying a lot of speed. It's the speed that he carried so much speed going into that corner. There's no way for me to go back on the video on if you're watching this on YouTube. I just don't know how to edit that good yet. But I went back to 20 seconds. So if you're listening to this on podcast and watching the Alexander Albon on YouTube, I went back to 20 seconds, and you could see on turn 4, turn 5, just carrying so much speed on those turns, and you could read out that he's going to be able to, or that he's going to go into a wall, right? And okay, so Alexander Albon goes into the wall, FP1, car damaged. That was a bad crash as well. Damaged so much that it won't be repaired and not be prepared in time for the weekend. And his teammate Logan Sargent, the American, pretty good racing driver. He had his rookie season last year, and it was an okay rookie season. Nothing spectacular, nothing too bad as well, right? We're not saying he's a bad driver or anything. I'm not saying he's a bad driver or anything like that. But unfortunately, he got dealt a bad hand where he has to give up. I mean, I've never seen this before. F1 is that one league, the one sport that racing. I mean, I've just never seen this before. You have to feel for this guy, Logan Sargent, because Alexander Albon taking his car. I mean, because Alexander Albon isn't able to race his own car. Okay, so let me just give you guys a little bit more information on F1 for all you novices, all you rookies. I mean, F1's a European sport, so wouldn't be surprised if not a lot of people know it over here in North America, even though you know of it, obviously, because of Netflix, all of that. But in F1, there is 20 drivers. There's only 10 teams. So what does that mean? There's 2 drivers for every team, right? So Williams, they had, like I said, Logan Sargent and Alexander Albon, right? They each have their own individual racing car. Come up with the same setups, similar setups, not the same, similar setups, obviously, to better their racing style, how they like to race, different things like that. Those things not really too important in what happened today, where Alexander Albon, because Williams feels as if he is the better racing driver, he has the better chance for points, going to take Logan Sargent's spot in the Grand Prix this weekend, which just stinks, man. I mean, it just stinks. Logan Sargent has done nothing wrong. Alexander Albon is the one that went into the wall in FP1. Why was he carrying so much speed in that corner? It looked like a quali practice, but it was just, I mean, you do that in quali, the same thing will happen. Obviously, there was a little bit of traffic there that kind of maybe got him unfocused, and that last second of focus is so important. I mean, you lose 1 millisecond of focus, bro. You're in the wall. You're driving a car that's going, 350 miles per hour on a turn. It's not even the straights. On turns 250. It's doing at least 250 on turns, right? So, it's just unfortunate, for Logan Sargent. Not going to be able to get any points. Williams is more explanation on F1 here for the novices and rookies and all of that. Williams is not a great constructor team, right? They're not a great team in F1. They were back in the day without all the tech. They were the first team back in the day to bring technology, really boost, technology into the car, where it had the, I don't know if it was downforce. I don't know if it was leveling. I don't know what they called it, but brought in level, and it changed the game. They won every race that year, where they were able to gear shift. I think it was the gears where manually, because they used to manually switch gears, and then they brought technology in, implemented it, first team to do it. That was back in 2000s, maybe 1990s. And they were really good. They were top of the class, but obviously nowadays they're just not. They've fallen behind, and they're in the back of the group. We'll say lower middle half of the group, right? And for a team like Williams, a race like Australia, where your car, because another explanation for the novices and rookies out there, not every track will be good for the car you have, unless you're Red Bull. Even Red Bull, not every track is good for your car or suitable for your car, or this is where your car performs the best, right? Because maybe it's good on the straights, and then it's not so great on the corners, and maybe it's good on the corners and then it's not so great on the straights, and then you come to a track like Australia, where it has a few corners, it has the one main straight. I forget. Let me just take a double look at the Australia GP track. I don't want to get it wrong, but I know that it has quite a few corners. It has quite a few corners. So we got, there's 14 corners in the whole. You know what I'm saying? So it's for a car like Williams, you see in the speed it was carrying into those corners. This is a race that they fancy themselves to be able to get at least 1-2 points in, right? And that's very important when it comes to the end of the year for the bottom half of the teams in the F1, because every race, okay, so just to give another explanation for the novices and those that really don't know. All right, so in the winner in a Formula One race will receive 25 points. Second place finisher will receive 18. And then 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1 for positions 3 to 10, respectively, right? So that again is 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1. You see how it gets less and less and less and less as much as it gets to 10. 10 is the last position that will be able to receive a point in a race. There's 20 drivers, so there's half of them receive points, half of them don't every single race, right? So it's very important to maximize the tracks that your car is able to get points in. So for Williams, you understand the decision, but you just still feel for Logan Sargent. You feel for Logan Sargent, but at the way the driving that Alex Albon has been driving, not just this year, but last year as well. I believe last year, Australian GP 2023. Let me check so last year, Alexander Albon, he didn't get any points last year. They were actually running in the back of the grid. They didn't even finish. Not even running in the back of the grid. They didn't even finish. Both Williams did not finish the race. Wow. So, obviously for Williams last year, they're trying to get a much better result than they did this year. It's interesting though. I mean, Alex Albon went into the walls. Last year, he went into the walls. Interesting. You know what? You guys let me know what you think about the whole decision. I mean, the first thing when I first woke up, I got a notification from F1 and it said, it was vague. It didn't really explain it. It said Alexander Albon to drive Sargent's car. And I'm like, okay, does that mean they're going to drive the same specs? Are they going to drive similar cars? Are they swapping cars? And then I go on Instagram and then it's Alexander Albon to replace. That's a little bit more clarification, to replace Logan Sargent, which was shocking news. End of the day, Williams made the decision. They feel like Alexander Albon is the better driver. They feel like they have a better chance of getting points with him. We'll see how it works out for them on Sunday. At the end of the day, this decision, it could be looked at two ways. One, very stupid. Two, very smart. And we'll see how it is on Sunday. Let's go on to some March Madness upsets. It was a nice game yesterday. I mean, day one, let's just, it's a safe space here. Me and you. Let me even just come off the computer. Safe space, me and you. And it's okay because my bracket busted too. It's okay that your bracket bust. It's okay, man. This is a safe space. This is a safe space between me and you. I know your bracket busted because there's only, I seen the graphic this morning, 0.0000. Another one, 3% of brackets still perfect. Bijan Robinson is one of them. Crazy, bro. Bijan knows more ball than I do. It's wild. Bijan knows more ball than I do. I seen it. I'm like, Bijan's still perfect. Bijan got Oakland to beat Kentucky. Bijan got the Dukes to beat BYU. Bijan got all of the upsets and more that happened on the day correct. I'm rooting for Bijan Robinson to be first person in history. And everybody that has, 0.0, whoever's in that small percentage of people, to be able to get, run it out and make your bracket perfect. I mean, day one and all of our brackets are busted. I mean, everybody in the world, basically everybody in the world. I mean, 1 million people. What's zero? Let me search that percentage up. So 0.00003% of 1 million. And people, I don't know how to ask the question. I really don't know how to ask the question. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know how to ask the question. We'll see that it's okay. So if there's a million people, 1% would be, no, 1% wouldn't be a million. 1% would be what, 10,000? No, am I stupid? Do I not know math? 10% is 10,000, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm in a math test and I failed. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, but let's say there's like 15 brackets left. Yeah, let's say there's like 15 brackets left, right? That's, all you 15, you guys know more ball than I do and anybody in the world. Don't let anybody tell you they don't. Don't let them tell you it's just luck. Don't let them do that. But yeah, and just exciting for. I mean, not exciting. My bread, my pockets are not. They're not laughing. They're not happy. But yeah, like for March Madness, we're looking at. Let's look at today's games that are going on today. It's really madness. I tweeted it out. Remember to follow out the GameTime Gazette on the Twitter. And it was like the first thing I said was, this is just complete and utter madness. And that is what March Madness is right now. The Northwestern and Florida Atlantic game just started. And might see an upset in that one too. 9-8, it's not really too big of an upset. Evenly matched teams, but from Kentucky losing yesterday, even Drake, my whole bracket, the bracket that we made here in the GameTime Gazette, we had we got Iowa State, we had Tennessee. I said, oh man, Nye Simmons isn't here today, but he had Texas Tech, and NC State, they're continuing this hot streak, continuing it. So that's going to be interesting to see, how far NC State and they continue to go. NC State wasn't the only 11th seed to win last night as well. Oregon, that one I was correct on. Pac-12 champions beating up South Carolina, to be honest. Second half game wasn't even close, even though the score was just a 14-point game. Both 11 seeds in day one won their games. So that was all three 11 seeds. I'm sorry, I forgot about the Dukes and BYU. Dukes and BYU started off the day. We watched it here together on the GameTime Gazette, and it was a match of. I didn't expect the Dukes to do what they did, but they were so evenly matched with BYU, and at the end of the game, just really being able to close out the game as well. A lot more people are gonna have the Dukes in their on their radar now, right? Because they could shoot the ball, they could go inside, they could defend really well. That's the one thing that BYU kind of seen. Even though they got some open shot opportunities, BYU was defending them really well, running them off the 3-point line, and then being able to make them go onto the interior where their weaknesses were and where the Dukes defensive strengths were on the inside. You've seen their big men just starting to eat in there, right? Just starting to eat, getting a lot of blocks and getting a lot of tip opportunities and just great rim protection, right? So that was all right. We start with that. Michigan State got Izzo time, January, February. Izzo, it's crazy. They slapped up Mississippi State. They're versing UNC on tomorrow, Saturday. But I don't know. A lot of people are saying this is the end of the Izzo run. But let me lay it out to you. What is more madness than, because this isn't even an Izzo team that this isn't the typical gritty defensive gonna they had Draymond Green at one point in there. Tom Izzo had Draymond Green at one point at Michigan State. You know what I'm saying? That type of build, that type of player. Think of that. It's not this type of team. It's not the same type of gritty defensive get down to it. Even though they locked down Mississippi State last night, right? But tell me how this wouldn't be March Madness at its core. Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans go into UNC, number one UNC at that. And Tom Izzo does the impossible. Because we know NC State We know, I mean, UNC, sorry, not NC State, thinking about the final of the ACC final, but we know UNC has that interior, the interior presence, man. That's their bread and butter. We seen them slap up Wagner yesterday. I mean, almost a 30-piece. They're rolling right now. And that's why it would be madness. That is why it would be crazy. And it's possible too. You're talking about a coach in Tom Izzo that has 17 wins as the lower seed. He can make it 18 on Saturday. And now I'm not telling you to bet money on this, but I'm telling you, when this happens, don't say the GameTime Gazette and Isaiah and Nenny didn't tell you. Don't tell me I didn't tell you, because I told you guys. And I am predicting it. Tom Izzo and Michigan State are going to win tomorrow in UNC. They're going to do it. They're going to knock off the number 1 seed in UNC. And they're going to show people that, Tom Izzo ain't no one to play with. It's going to be one of them. I think that's going to be the Cinderella run, like, mini Cinderella run. Because, it's possible for them to get these type of wins. I at least think they're going to keep it close. If I'm going to be honest and I'm not trolling no more, I at least think they're going to keep it close. I'm interested to see what the spread is. Let me check it out. Let me check it out for you guys here while I'm here. I don't know. Nope, no spread out yet, I guess. No spread out yet, I guess. But that's one that I'm gonna say, watch out for Michigan State Spartans. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit more about the upsets. Where are we gonna start? We talked about the Dukes. Oregon's not an upset to us because you watch the GameTime Gazette. We picked Oregon to move on. Man, you guys could guess the next game. Never adder. Never shoulda adder. Never shoulda adder. That's what we should. Nevada. That's their name. Never shoulda adder. Never shoulda added it. Because, up 20, up 17 in the second half. They close out the game. Nevada, Dayton closes the game on a 24-4 run. They end up winning by 3, not even OT. Regulation. They end up winning in regulation. What are we talking about here? Nevada never should have added it. What are we talking about? They didn't even push an OT. You were up 17 with like 7 minutes left. That was my reaction right there. I didn't believe it. I was playing basketball. I sat down, and as soon as I seen my phone, I didn't believe it. It was unbelievable. It was atrociously unbelievable. But they didn't, fighting spirit. They didn't want to go home. They didn't want to go home. Nevada, like they kind of did. End of the day, they just weren't locked in enough. They just were not locked in enough. Yeah, don't wanna. Never should have added up. Never should have added up. Alrighty. We got Oakland against Kentucky. That was the first big upset of the day. Happened late into the day, but it was the first big upset of the day. Seeing Oakland and I guess he's the new internet star. He's on his 15 minutes of fame right now for sure. And we talk about, prospects, NBA prospects being made here in March Madness. Day one. It only took 1 day. We got Jack Gohickey. Man only shoots the 3 ball. Hey, Raptors, if you were watching, hey, Masai, Bobby Webster, Jack Gohickey. He's a shooter. I want him undrafted. I want him. If I want him, 2nd round pick, we got it. We got the capital. I want him. Man went 10 for 20 from 3 last night. All year, all he does is shoot threes. All year. He has like less than 20 2-point shot attempts all year long. And he has like 300 plus 3-point shot attempts. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's around that range. And I mean, he brought it on last night to help the Oakland Golden Grizzlies beat the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky, to be honest, you just always feel like, the teams that have these NBA prospects, honestly, because I don't want to say that they're not locked in for it, that they just don't care about it, because obviously they care about it. Obviously they'd want to go and win it, like AD did and stuff. I believe AD won the national title, but obviously they'd want to go win it, man. Not that they don't want to go win it, but just not as locked in as Oakland. Not as bad as Oakland wants to win it, because obviously Rob Dillon, man, they have 4 or 5, this year, they have they have at least 2 players. Well, let me just break it down even easier. They have 2 players this year going in the top 15 in the NBA draft. Next year, they'll have another one. They have 3 players in this year that, if they do go draft eligible, this and that, all of them will get picked up in the first round. It's those things for them, the Reed Shepherd had a horrible game, probably his worst game of the year. 3 points, 26 minutes, 4 assists. He made 1 3. But he's going to be a top 10 pick in the NBA, and he's still going to be a good player. Still going to be a great role player, I think. Raptors are looking at him, but he's still going to be a great role player. And I just, you just see that they just don't want it enough stuff. Because it's easy for the mind to creep in other things, even when you don't want it to. And obviously, man, Oakland was locked in. They didn't even feel like you had Jack Dohickey saying, "We ain't no Cinderella." You had the head coach, who's head coach? Who's head coach for the Oakland Grizzlies? Wow, can't get the head coach's name out here now. Cool. But you had head coach come out and say, we're not surprised. They showed the post game of, their locker room. All man's were very, very calm. Hey, bro, next one. We got to go on to the next one and show up. Job's not done. It ain't done yet. And they were saying, ooh, whew. They got a good one. Still. March Madness this is the best time of the year. This is the best time of the year. Oakland, NC State. They got a favorable matchup. NC State is hot, but NC State is, NC State is just as hot as Oakland is. Well, NC State is a little hotter than Oakland is. Winning the ACC and the way they did it, one of the best championship conference runs of all time, right? But Oakland just beat Kentucky. The blue blood, bro. It's gonna be a good one. I don't wanna say too much because, man, I've asked Bijan, you know what I'm saying? Because hey, man, my bracket breaking. Honestly, it doesn't deter me too much. Obviously, from giving you picks and all that. I'm still gonna give you some picks for today. Because Samford covered. We were talking here last night yesterday on the podcast about how Samford are them dudes too. So Samford covered. Samford did their job. So I ain't gonna stop analyzing. And it's March Madness. Everybody got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? End of the day, we're still gonna be out here, GameTime Gazette, and giving you guys the best, angles on everything. Not just, this is who you should pick. Just angles, and then you guys make the decision at the end of the day, to be honest. Who you feel in your gut. But today at 1:45, the one team that I felt would be the best Cinderella team this year, UAB is going to be playing. Let's see how much I know ball. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to ride all of this and say, hey, man, if I get it wrong, I don't know ball, because this is March Madness. But I'm not going to lie to you. I am a little bit more wary after what happened yesterday and, only getting 2-3 picks correct. Drake even lost. I don't even know. So I'm wary. I'm a little wary. But Trusting in my gut. I'm trusting in my gut. So we'll be back here on Monday, talking through it all, doing everything that just went on this weekend in sports. Gonna get UFC Fight Night tomorrow. Don't know who's fighting. Let me check it out. For UFC Fight Night, I just usually turn on the TV and see who it is. Oh, you got Rose Namajunas against Amanda Ribas. Rose Namajunas, one of the fan favorites in the MMA. That's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. Carl Williams, Justin Tafa, obviously up and comers, right? Trying to get into some main cards. So UFC is gonna be fun. Anything fun happens there. Anything boom 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 blast happens there. I watch, so I'll let you guys know. Anything happens in F1. Unfortunately, I watch, so I let you guys know. Anything happens in the league, NBA, NFL, March Madness, I'm watching everything. Hopefully you are too, as you are listening to me. And if you got to this point in the podcast, video, wherever you're listening or watching from, I ask you to leave a review. I ask you to leave a like, please, just because I want to know how I can improve, be better for you guys. And I want to know what I'm doing right too, I don't know. I just want to hear some feedback. Maybe just tell me what you think about the picks, or give me your picks down below. Just write a comment for the fun of it, to be honest. And I really appreciate it. I honestly really do. I appreciate you guys listening every day. I thank God, it's honestly not even doing this for money. I just love sports, bro. And I talk 30, 40 minutes by myself, not even two other people, by myself about these sports. So I just come on here, I ramble. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. If I didn't see any views at all, I'd be very discouraged. But hey man, even one view, I'm thankful for whoever you are. My one listener and my one viewer. You're actually the reason that I keep going. You're the reason that I'm continuing this on. And I thank you so much. God will bless you for real, as you've blessed me with your presence and just your time. And I feel like that's a very happy way to end this week. Yeah, you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys back on Monday. It's been your host, Isaiah Aneni, and this has been the GameTime Gazette. As always, peace.